In the following weeks and months after I got out of the hospital, well, a week after I got out of the hospital, a lot of people like to watch the Super Bowl or the World Series. I really only pay attention to one sport, and it's the Boston Marathon, okay? And so the Boston Marathon in 2014 was the week after I got out of the hospital, and so I'm on the internet watching it, and of course this is a year after the bombings in 2013, and so I watch Meb cross the finish line. And I see him stretch out his arms like that and cross the finish line. And my doctor knew that I was a marathon runner, and he said, Bruce, given the amount of blood loss that you've had, and by the way, he only gave me 1 unit of blood after losing 5. He wouldn't give me the other. He said, if you beg me for it, I'll give it to you, but that's another story. So I was very weak for a very long time. He said, given the extent of the surgery and all the cutting that we wound up having to do that we didn't think we were going to have to do, he said, you should pretty much plan on 7 months before you're really back doing anything even remotely athletic. He said, probably you're not going to want to jar that part of your body anytime soon anyway, so give yourself like 7 months to do it. Well, I didn't know if I would ever run a marathon again. But I saw Meb cross that finish line, and I thought to myself, thoughts become things. Now, if I say to myself, I will probably never run a marathon again, what's the likelihood of me ever running a marathon again? It ain't gonna happen. So I put this on my vision board. I was very into vision boards, so I have pictures of places I want to go on vacations and stuff like that. So I put this on my vision board. And I thought to myself that one of these days, I don't know how, I was never fast enough to run the Boston Marathon anyway, because you have to qualify for it. I loved running, but I wasn't ever really that fast. So I knew that thoughts become things. And I knew that I wanted to someday run the Boston Marathon. Didn't know when. But I knew that I could not go back to being the person that I was when I was in my 40s. It would be real easy about right now to go back into victim mode. 50-year-old guys are not supposed to get prostate cancer. Okay? There's a lot of other things that happen with guys and prostate cancer that, you know. I decided that I was not going to be a victim. Decided that I knew for a fact that we are hope-shaped creatures. Now here's what I mean by that, and this is what I mean by thoughts become things. And I'm not talking about woo-woo, just sit on your couch and imagine the shiny BMW and it'll show up in your, I'm not talking about that form of manifesting your dreams. I'm talking about our belief in the future is what programs the actions that we take today, okay? So let's do this. I'm going to invite you to a party at my house. Now, you've never been to my house. You've never been to one of my parties before, okay? But in the invitation, it tells you when to show up and where it is, okay? You don't really know me very well. You don't know who's going to be there. You get to decide today. The party's in 2 weeks, okay? You get to decide what your anticipated experience of that party is going to be, right? Now, if you think that, you know what, I don't know Bruce very well, I don't know his friends, I don't know who's going to be there, I might not know anybody, and I don't want to go to a party where I don't know anybody, and you know, it's probably just going to be like another dull party I went to before. The food is going to be, you know, just potato chips or stuff like that. There's going to be, you know, lousy music playing. And, you know, I'm just not very excited about this. I'm still going to RSVP that I'm going to come. Now, in the time between today and the party, you're going to come to work every day. Are you going to tell anybody you got an invitation to my party? If that's your anticipation of what it's going to be like? Probably not. Is it going to put a little extra spring in your step in anticipation of the party? Probably not. What happens if somebody comes or calls you the day before the party and says, hey, we're going out for pizza tomorrow night, and it's the same person who calls you and asks you to come over for pizza every Friday night, okay? You don't really enjoy it, but it's just what you always do, so it's in your comfort zone, it's safe. I'm willing to bet you accept that invitation and don't show up for my party. However, if you think that the Pope is in town, so if you think that somebody just amazing you've been burning to see, you just want to meet, I've heard Bruce throws amazing parties and there's going to be amazing guests there, and I am so excited. Maybe I'm going to meet somebody and I'll tell them a little bit about myself, and it might lead to something, whether professionally or personally or whatever. If you are super excited about this party, you're going to tell all your friends about it. It's going to change the way you behave between now and the party. The afternoon of the party, you're going to get all dressed up. We're going to wash our hair, make sure that we smell nice and look our best in anticipation of the party. Your hope for what the party is going to be like is what determines your behavior in anticipation of it. Okay? That's what I mean by thoughts become things. I decided that stage 4 prostate cancer didn't kill me. It must not have killed me for a reason. And it must be because there's something bigger, there's something better. Instead of painting a gloomy future, I decided to imagine that the future is going to be a phenomenal freaking party. Okay? And I started living my life that way. I ran the Boston Marathon this year. Exactly 1 year after my surgery. My doctor didn't think I could do it. I said, you just watch. I had no idea how it was going to happen. I didn't even have a podcast when I did when I was in my recovery process, but I started it in September of last year. And somewhere along the line, I mentioned that one of my bucket list dreams at some point way in the future was to run the Boston Marathon. On Thanksgiving Day, I got a phone call from a guy in Boston. He said, Bruce, I want to make your dream come true. I work for a charity and we have an extra bib and we want you to run the Boston Marathon for the Forsyth Institute. I wasn't in any kind of shape. You can pretty much, and that's me doing my best Meb imitation. That was as far as I could get the arms out then, okay? I've gone on and run a couple marathons since then, but you can pretty much bet I collapsed after crossing that finish line, okay? But I did it, okay? Thoughts become things. So the thing that I want to share with you today is that I had been waiting all my life for some miracle to happen to me. But what I realized was that I am the miracle that I've been waiting for. Okay? And the party isn't out there 2 weeks or 10 years or whenever. It's today. And so I live every single day right now as if my doctor's going to call me again tomorrow and say I've got bad news. I'm a better dad than I ever was because I'm not trying to be. It occurred to me that the only way I could take care of anybody was to take care of me first. Okay? My boys don't need me to be the best dad. You don't need me to be the best motivational speaker or writer. I still own a business. My employees don't need me to be the best business owner. I'm not married anymore, so she doesn't need me to be the best husband, although I still do take care of her in many ways. The world needs me, and the world needs you to be the best you can possibly be. And it's out of the overflow of that everybody benefits. When I stopped trying to be the best dad and started to be the best Bruce, it was when my life really turned around. So that's what I have to share with you today. I wrote about a lot of this stuff in my book called Worry No More, and please take a copy on your way out. If any of you want to stop and talk with me, if you want to contact me, if any of you are interested in working with me as a life coach, there are a lot of different ways I work with people. I do it all over Skype. I have clients all over the world. It's been an amazing ride. So these are the various ways you can get in touch with me. But let me just say thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you. So go back to work knowing that you are the miracle that you've been waiting for. Say to your boss, I'm the miracle I've been waiting for. It's not you.